patience. Such a rare commodity these days, isn't it? Have you ever sat by, phone clutched in hand, eyes darting to the screen every few seconds, waiting, just waiting, for a reply to that oh-so-important text message? It's almost comical, really. We've reduced ourselves to characters in some absurd modern drama, where the villain is a silent notification bar, and the hero... Well, that's the question, isn't it? Today, my dear friends, we're delving into a world not often explored with sincerity. How secure individuals navigate this landscape of emotional minefields, how they handle the torment of unrequited responses, and, more importantly, how they preserve their dignity in the face of uncertainty. Yes, this is a tale of attachment, boundaries, and the very essence of authenticity. But first, let us journey back, as all good stories do, to the beginning. Imagine, if you will, a child, a small, wide-eyed creature stumbling into this chaotic world. For them, the universe begins and ends with their caregivers. Now, some of these children are blessed with guardians who respond promptly to their cries, who soothe their fears, and who teach them, through gentle repetition, that the world is a safe place. These fortunate souls grow into what we call securely attached individuals, rare jewels in the intricate tapestry of humanity. But not all stories are so idyllic, are they? For others, the world is less forgiving. Some find their cries ignored, their needs neglected, or perhaps worse, met with inconsistency. They grow into adults whose relationships are fraught with anxiety, avoidance, or an exhausting blend of both. It's as though their hearts have been forged in a kiln of doubt and inconsistency. Yet here we are, all grown up and armed with smartphones, still playing out the dramas of our childhood attachments with every unreturned message. A secure individual, they navigate this with a sort of quiet grace. They don't panic, they don't spiral. No, they respond with strength, clarity, and, dare I say it, a touch of elegance. Now let's talk about boundaries, a word that sends shivers down spines and raises hackles on necks. For many, boundaries are walls, high, impenetrable, and isolating. But that's a misunderstanding. Boundaries, my dear friends, are not walls, they are bridges. They connect us, allowing two people to meet in truth and honesty without fear or pretense. Picture this. A securely attached person, let's call him Henry. Henry is dating someone new. The early days are promising. Laughter, shared glances, a growing connection. And then, the dreaded moment arrives. His partner begins to pull back. Texts go unanswered for hours, sometimes days. Now, an anxious individual might panic, bombarding their partner with messages, desperate to close the perceived gap. An avoidant? They'd withdraw entirely, retreating to the safety of their solitude. But Henry does something remarkable. He addresses the issue directly. "Consistency is important to me," he says, calmly and without accusation. "I value clear communication, and I'd like to know if we're on the same page." It's not a demand, nor a plea. It's an invitation, an opportunity for his partner to step up or step aside. And here's the brilliance. Henry isn't afraid of the outcome. He knows that upholding his standards is not about rejection, but about alignment. If his partner cannot meet him halfway, he knows it's better to walk away than to compromise his peace. But how often do we sacrifice our authenticity for the illusion of harmony? How many times have you bitten your tongue, suppressed your needs, and told yourself, "It's fine, it's no big deal," when in truth it was anything but fine? Allow me to share a story. There was once a woman named Eleanor, fierce, intelligent, but deeply afraid of being seen as too much. In her relationships, she played the role of the ever-accommodating partner. She laughed when she wanted to cry, nodded when she wanted to object, and bent over backward to avoid conflict. And what did this earn her? Resentment. Not from her partners, but from herself. You see, my friends, pretending to be less than you are is a slow betrayal of your soul. It's like pouring water into a leaky vessel. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough. True connection, the kind that lasts, requires authenticity. It demands that we show up fully, imperfections and all. Now let us confront one of life's harshest truths. Not every relationship is meant to last. I know, it stings, but consider this. When we cling to something or someone that isn't right for us, we are not holding on to love. We are holding on to fear. Fear of loneliness, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. A secure individual understands this. They know when to let go, not out of spite or indifference, but out of respect for themselves and for the other person. It's a lesson that takes time to learn, but once mastered, it is transformative. I once knew a man, Charles, who held onto a relationship for years, despite knowing in his heart it was wrong. When he finally walked away, he described the feeling as a weight lifting from his chest. It wasn't love I was holding on to, he said, but the idea of love. So where does this leave us? Are we doomed to repeat the patterns of our past, forever trapped in the cycles of our attachment styles? No. Change is possible. Growth is attainable. But it requires intention and effort. It begins with self-awareness. To understand your attachment style is to hold the map to your emotional landscape. It allows you to navigate relationships with clarity and purpose, rather than stumbling blindly through the fog. Next comes practice. Like learning a new language, becoming securely attached takes time. It means setting boundaries, advocating for your needs, and perhaps most importantly, forgiving yourself when you falter. And finally, it means choosing courage over comfort. It's easy to stay in the shallow end, avoiding the risks of vulnerability. But true connection lies in the deep waters. It's there, amidst the uncertainty, that we find the relationships and the lives we've always dreamed of. So, my dear friends, as you close this chapter and step back into the world, I leave you with this thought. Love is not a game of perfect. It is a dance of authenticity, a balancing act of giving and receiving, and a test of our ability to remain true to ourselves. Be patient, be kind, and above all, be brave. For in the end, it is not the unanswered texts or the fleeting connections that define us. It is the love we give, the standards we uphold, and the courage with which we face the unknown. Until we meet again, tread lightly, speak boldly, and live authentically.